What's up, brother? This is Troy.
What's up, brother? This is Tbrown.
And welcome to the What's Up. I said,
That's
welcome
right.
to the What's Up.
That's right. Welcome. That's right. Welcome to our
welcome
podcast.
to the podcast,
What's
bro.
up,
Welcome
brother?
to the damn podcast. All right.
That's right.
How everybody doing today? All right.
That's
How
right.
you guys doing? How you guys doing? Now we do have a
Hey,
guest in the
man.
building. We do have a guest in the building. He be joining us
That's right.
in a couple of minutes. But I just wanted to take the time out and thank you guys that did go watch our first video and supported us. Drop the
Wow.
likes, the subs on all the social medias, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook group.
Wow.
What else? What am I missing?
You
Twitter.
said TikTok. That's right.
Yeah,
Twitter. The Browns.
You know, all of
Facebook.
our social medias. We're gonna have them down below in the description. So if you ain't
That's
following, you
right.
guys can go join up. We do have a Facebook group where we do have conversations almost every day.
Mhm.
So if you guys want to come over and join us, man. Get in them conversations
right.
with us. All right.
That's right.
How you doing today, T?
I'm chilling like a villain in the Himalaya with the Yeti, baby. I'm chilling.
Word. How you feeling? How you feeling, man?
I'm feeling good, man. Today wasn't a bad day. We got to be
Word.
with the kiddos all day, so I ain't mad at it. Even though I be wanting to kick my son in the chest, but it's all good though.
Nah, I feel you.
It's all love.
I mean,
I saw this meme one time. It was like, it was a TikTok, and it was basically like, if you don't have that feeling when you're with your kids that you want to beat them up in some form of way, then you're not spending enough time with them.
you're not spending definitely not spending enough time with them.
What that is for
You
real.
definitely ain't spending
That's
enough
real
time
love
with them.
right
That's
there.
love
For
right
real,
there.
because
That's love right there.
if you ain't with your kids enough to the point where you're like, all right, I just want to punch you in the throat, you know.
Right.
But you know that you can't do that. But
nah, but kids are annoying, but you gotta love them, bro. I got two of my own, so trust me, we on the same page here. Right?
We are, bro, because we both got the same combo. We got the boy girl going on.
If you love your kids, you beat them down, all right?
That's right, for real.
My daughter get the spear, the rock bottom, the chokes,
right.
everything.
See, Cash didn't like that stuff, though.
Yeah, my daughter likes it too. She likes it for some reason. Ever since she was a baby,
Right.
she liked it.
Ruffians. And then my daughter on the same way. She like it when I shake her up and stuff. She be like, hey.
Yeah. I think daughters are just like that.
Yeah.
As long as they get affection, they don't really care.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he should be joining us in a little bit.
There we go.
Finally.
E is here. What's up, baby?
Yes. What's up?
E?
I was like, yo, this shit is bugging out.
Nah, bro.
Like, where the fuck is this
Listen,
stuff?
this part going in the video. I just want you guys to see this, man. We've been fighting for like 20 minutes to get E on. So,
oh god.
Yo, OD.
But first, man, we want to thank you for stopping by, to the What's Up Brother podcast and spending some time with us, bro. We're looking forward to this conversation, man.
It's gonna be a good one. I'm happy to be here. It's definitely gonna be a good one.
It's gonna be a good one, man.
Oh, yeah.
So let's start with you introducing yourself and just telling the people a little bit about you.
So I'm Elijah. Most people know me as LA. I dance, I teach, I work for Parks and Recreation as a recreation specialist, as well as providing programming for youth, seniors, adults, and all of the above. I mainly teach dance, but I also teach performance, as well as I hold self-esteem groups, and I hold wellness groups as well.
Okay, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I didn't know you did all that. I knew about the dance.
I
didn't know you did all that.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool, man.
It's a lot.
Yeah, that's great. Whole humanitarian out here, man.
I feel like at the end of the day, I feel like we got to, because I feel like our generation, we learned a lot, and this new generation is no shade, but they not getting shit. They not getting nothing.
No, they're not.
So all they know is just living off the streets and
all they know is social media. That's what they know. Social media. They don't know nothing about the real life outside. That is the truth.
Nothing.
Statement.
So you have to teach them something. Give them something.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Just let them know it's more. There's more. There's always more, and trying to figure out your options. And even when you think you don't got options, you can try and make some. You never know.
And it's so funny that you said that, because I just came back from Atlanta.
Right.
Fuck that. Atlanta's not the hype. It's not. And that's just how I feel. I went out there to do my dance shit, to get on my grind. It ain't do nothing for me. It just didn't, right? The gangbang shit happens out there, it's real. The sex trafficking, it's real. The programming and youth development is lacking. The education level is too high for the communities that they're servicing. It's just really bad. So it was just like, yeah, this isn't the life for me. And the racism and the prejudice stuff, it's just too much. The segregation, it's real. So coming from New York and going to school in Jersey, like you would think like, oh, it's lit. Like the rest of the world is great. No. So it was a cultural shock for me, honestly.
That's an interesting aspect because people always think about when you travel or move somewhere new, it's a new experience, but sometimes that experience isn't a good one. So
yeah.
I mean, you take the risk because you did just move out back to actually New York from Atlanta too.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
That's basically what you were seeing out there.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was really bad. So I was working for Shelter in Arms, and it was a senior citizens recreational center. And working there, mind you, I applied before I went out there. So you know how like they say before you move anywhere, make sure you have another job or you have your ducks in a row, all that good stuff. So it was like, okay, I have this ready to go. So I get there, I interview, I come back to New York. I go to my second interview. I come back to New York. They're like, you got the job. I'm like, perfect. I'm off this.
Nice.
Like, it's time to go. I was like, let me take a leave of absence, see how this works. Right? It was very much, yes, it's time to go. Right? So I get out there and I was like, okay, this is a great experience. I'm going to be here for the rest of my life. This is just a stepping stone. I'm going to be working with the seniors, providing programming for them. I have the car. I have a place to stay. All this great stuff is just there and I'm ready to move.
Right.
So I get there. In the first few weeks, I noticed how, y'all remember that TikTok where there was this lesbian woman, she's a comedian, and she talks about how she's like, Aunt Molly, like, why are you treating me like a slave? Right? It was legit one of those moments, but every day. And then you'll report it to HR, and HR will do the same thing.
That is interesting because I could back you up. You did text me while you were in Atlanta and tell me you felt like you were a slave down there.
It was horrible. It was horrible, right? That was just one of the experiences. And my thing is, me being me, I'm always going to defend myself. I'm going to defend the community as long as I get the respect back, right? And that's just how I am. And I just feel like at the end of the day, with youth development or even senior or adult development, because we all need help from time to time, as workers or humanitarians or just as people, we would expect the same in return. Respect. Not given. My attitude's bad. I dipped. I did. I had to go. You're not gonna talk bad on my name. You're not gonna give me what I deserve. You're not gonna put me in a situation where police can be involved. Right? If I can see that coming, that means God or whoever is out looking over me got my back, and it's like, it's time for you to go. You can make next moves another day. Right? So yeah,
it's always good to get experience elsewhere, but people have to understand that, you know, everywhere you go, it's not going to be a good experience. So
it's not.
Now, what made you want to go out to ATL to begin with, though?
It's crazy. It's honestly 2 reasons. Dance. I'm 30, and at the end of the day, me being who I am, I'm always going to chase my dream, but at the same time, stability is always number one. And I just feel like that should be a goal for everybody, but never forget your dream, right?
Not to cut you off, E. Tell the people what kind of dance you do. What kind of dance you teach?
Yeah, so I teach hip hop, I teach jazz, and I teach tap. And those are my things, right?
You teach tap.
So my thing is, I have a foundation in these things, and I grew up mind you, the first thing that I learned was tap. My dance teacher, Liz Ortiz, dope as fuck, in the dance room, running around, just watching the dancers dance and stuff. Of course, the gay one with the big butt, like, hey, right? Right, having fun. It's like, oh, what's these noises? What's this dance and stuff? What's going on? So she pulled me under her wing. She taught me. That was the first style I learned. We continued with African, of course. Being in an urban community, hip hop is always going to be there. Hip hop was then the next style. I learned hip hop, and then I got introduced to voguing, and then I trained in jazz and ballet. Beautiful things to learn. It was so fun. I got to travel. I got to perform. I got to be in a lot of great shows.
Because a few times I've seen you dance a little bit, your form is on point, like with your point, like with your like, especially when you've done spins and stuff. I've noticed. I was like, all right, he's done some real stuff.
Y'all remember when we had that dance battle on Jersey Pier?
I
remember that.
Was that the day I hit the knee drop? Was that the day I hit the knee
drop?
I
think so. I think that was
messed my knee up. My first ever knee drop. I messed my damn knee up. But for you guys that do want to see Elijah dance, we are going to drop his Instagram and other social media handles down below the video. All right, so go check him out. All right. So coming back from New York, what was your experience coming back from ATL to New York, back to New York? Did you fit right back in and go right back to doing the same things that you were doing before you left?
So you always have to make a plan for yourself, right? When I just feel like in my situation, I just had a great transitional part, right? When you see a problem with one job, you have to figure out what benefits you have and what cons can go against you. Easy, right? So in my situation, before I left, I had to write down the pros and cons of leaving this job, right? What benefits do I have and what benefits they have against me, right? So there were a lot of benefits in my favor that I could use. So for instance, I just took a leave of absence,
right,
for 3 months. And within that 3 months, I could do whatever I wanted, right? I chose to leave. It's time to go. If this does not work out,
I got something to fall back on.
I can come back and I still have a job.
Always have a plan B.
That's
have a plan B, right? You just have to think about those things, right? So that, in my case, that was the case. So it's so funny because I still get texts from people from ATL, people from Virginia. That's like, it's great to sometimes slow down because you're always moving
too fast. Yeah,
but they were just like, you should have just like stayed longer. I agree, because I've been doing too much, and I'm not even on front.
Because I could relate to you on that note. Because for me, switching from going out into the city, being in Jersey, and me living where I am now, out in Iowa, like big ass difference. We talking about people that's going in 6th gear with the nods, taking it back down to like 2nd gear. Maybe switching into 3rd, depending on the day. You know, like you talking to a dude that sometimes when I'm driving on certain roads, I see tractors. Like I can see cows. Bulls,
I've never been so scared in my life. I thought I was bugging. So you really not bugging.
I would love to see deers, bulls, and llamas.
Nigga, I have to wear that gear every day when I'm driving, no matter what time of day. I have to worry about mainly at night.
You could drive through their tractor trailers. Like, it's crazy how big they are.
Yeah, man. Look, I see all of that where I'm at now.
And that's why, like, I commend college students because they just get up, and for the ones that stay on dorm, get up and uproot their whole lives of what they're used to at a young age, which can be very stressful. And mind you, some of them don't even have.
But it helps you grow.
It does. It helps you grow as a man and a woman. It makes you strong.
Yeah,
as a person. Fuck whether it's man or woman, just overall as a person.
Yeah, it's no shade. Yeah,
for life, for real. You're right.
And it's crazy because look, think about the tuition, like, and I feel like the people that leave their communities, it's not to be shady, it's not to be subjective, it's not to be that way, but in our communities, we choose to go because it's so rough. Right? It's time for a change, whether we're 18, whether we're between 18 and 25, right? And it's like, okay, I need to get out the hood. I need to get out this living situation. My mom's and pops is doing too much. Or I have everything I want, and I just want to go to Harvard, or I want to go to Michigan State, or I want to go to Georgia Tech. And there's nothing wrong with it, right? But then you get there, and it's like, wow. My mom and pops is not paying for anything, or they're paying for everything, and I'm failing all my classes. I'm in fraternities, sororities, living my best life, and I'm failing all my classes.
Yeah, it's like a
double-edged sword. It is, and it's so hard.
And
so
you feel that pressure when you got people paying for your education, because I've been there coming from like a high school with like Catholic school, like
that's right.
And then no lie though, you really
me and T grew up together.
Where they see, practically, we lived under the same roof and everything, practically grew up together. But
no, not and practically. We literally did grow up.
Yeah,
like since I was like 10 and you was like what, 7, 8?
Same thing. No, it was different. I was 10 when I moved on the block. You were like 13.
13, yeah.
Yeah, you was 13.
A long time. I'm 30 now. Everyone's 25.
For real, 27.
Yo, we're getting up there.
I just turned 27. For real, that's what I'm saying. Old. I just was
You're working
chilling with some
out
people.
there.
I was chilling with people yesterday, and then homegirl that I was with, she's 22, and I'm like, what the fuck? I thought you was 24. Shit, I'm older than somebody.
Like,
shit, I'm the young one. I'm older than somebody for once. Damn. Like I'm getting to that point now. Like, yup. Motherfuckers.
I tell my friends every day. I feel like black don't cry. It does. If you don't treat it right,
if you don't take care of yourself, yeah.
Right. If you don't, right. I was at this party the other day, and it was for this competition, and they're like, "How old are you?" I'm like, "I'm 30." It was like, "Oh, you look 22." I was like, "Thank you." You would never know. We will never crack as long as we take care of ourselves, right? But that only happens if you do right.
Drink your water and mind your business.
So let me ask you, E, what is the hardest part about your dance career?
The hard is, I feel like this goes for any dancer, right? I'm not gonna lie. I've been slacking OD. And what I mean about OD, like right. And that's what I'm doing, right? And what makes it hard, right? And it's just for me, but I know it's for many other people. And I actually have a coworker that's like this, but she's doing what she has to do. Taking that step of faith on your dream. And that's all it is, right? And that's what made it difficult for me, right? It's not that I don't believe in myself. It's not that I don't believe that I have the skills, the assets, the knowledge to go where I need to go. It's just I need to pay these bills. How am I traveling? I can speak to you and negotiate with you, but that doesn't mean that you have a preset budget to fly me out to Japan or fly me out to California to all these places to do a runway show, to do a ballet show, to do a hip hop performance, or even if I'm growing with a group of people and we have to now figure out a fundraising aspect so we can all go, so we can be in this one performance. Right. So it's the stability of it all. It's not to say that I don't believe in myself, but it's the stability, because at the end of the day, being an artist, you have to have a good resume. Being in New York, it's the land of dreams, but we know how it is. You have to scam, you have to deal, you have to hustle, right? You have to hustle, right? And if you're not in the right group or in the right social groups, then you're not going to get to where you need to be. In my case, I was in the right social groups. I just chose stability. So that meant sometimes sacrificing my dream, meaning I can't dance as much. I can't go to auditions as much. Right. And it sucked for me because it was very much, damn, bitch, I know this, I know I'm going to book this audition. Okay. So
I know that feeling. I know that feeling so well.
And it's one of those feelings like, and your job calls you and they're like, we need you in now.
I know.
Like there's nobody in the building. There's nobody to cover your group. These kids need your help and they know your soft spot.
It literally took 3-4 months for my phone to stop jumping when I moved out here. Like it literally took 3-4 months for my phone to stop jumping when I had put everything down. Without here.
And it's hard because it's like you don't want to leave.
Your audio cut off.
Oh, yeah, you don't. But it's like you gotta pick that stability. You gotta pick what you got going on. Sometimes it's a hard decision. It's like you feel it's like you relate to Spider-Man. It's like you relate to Spider-Man, where it's like, do I want to be Spider-Man full time, or do I want to have?
Or do I want to go to school and be a scientist? It's no shade.
Do I want to live my life for real?
So I can honestly say it was definitely, it still is a struggle, right? And especially now, I'm 30, and how I perform.
That's a turning point because your body too.
It really is. Okay, Justin, have you had that feeling yet of when you turn 30? And I just feel like it's a spiritual thing, right? You turn 30 and you just feel something in your soul or just your body, something just clicks.
No.
And it's like life.
It just feels like another day to me. That's it. That's it.
I don't know, but for me, it felt like something is changing.
Yeah,
it's not even to say ascended. Like
I know a lot of people. I know a lot of people that say on their 30th it's like a big deal for them, and then some
It's
people
not
when
even
they
a
hit
big for
40, it's
me. It was
another big deal. Like, but no, it's not. It wasn't. I didn't feel
it was
anything.
just
I
10-year
felt the
something
same.
changed
milestone.
in my mind. Something just changed. It
I
was just
think
like, okay, I'm growing up. It's time to change the mindset a little bit. It's
that's
time
what
to
I was gonna
grow
say.
up.
That's what I was gonna say.
It,
I would say the only thing that since I turned 30 to today, which is probably like 4 or 5 days, 4 days,
mhm, mhm.
my mindset
Happy
is a little bit
belated.
more. Thank you, thank you,
Right.
thank you, thank you, thank you. I know you guys saying it. Thank you. Thank you. But nah, I would say like I'm just a little bit more motivated on what I want to do, like this podcast and the other things I got going on. I'm like really focused on getting it done and just putting out things for people to give us their feedback so we can make better content and content that they enjoy watching. And that's just what I'm focused on. I think on my 30th birthday that night, being out with my friends and us talking, it showed me that I'm on the right path. I got something that going for myself, and I just got to keep it going, and I got to stay motivated because one thing I will say is motivation is one of the hardest things you can keep. It's one of the hardest
Yeah,
things you can hold on to.
it is
And
hard.
it's not easy to motivate yourself. So you got to find good people to be around you to help you with motivation. So
And
it's
it's
what
so
I
funny. We
struggle with
had
all my life.
I had that conversation with the youth on Wednesday. And it's the small motivations, right? And
Mm-hmm.
it's the motivation to just to go
Yep.
to the store, right? I have no clothes on. It's like, oh fuck, I want a soda, I want a Sprite. Or I gotta go get this controller and it's all the way in the other room. Oh, I have to go do laundry because then I won't have any clothes for the week, right?
Right.
Me
It's
right
those
now, I
small
literally just did that.
motivations that will just
Literally just put my shit in the washer.
right. It's no shade. Like, and it's so crazy. Coming back to New York, I was like, fuck. I don't have that dishwasher. I don't have that. I don't have that washer and dryer how I used to have
Used
it
to,
like
yeah.
ago,
Yo, don't
right?
talk about
So
washing and
now I have
dryers,
to
bro.
motivate
That's
myself to
something I can't
go
give up
4 blocks
now.
to the laundromat, or I have to go
I don't
and
miss that
do
life
these
right
things.
now.
Yeah, because you always got laundry,
Oh
washer and
God, that's
dryer,
one thing I can say that is a
got laundry
transitional
room.
thing. For me being out
That
of Jersey, I never have a washer and dryer. And I always had to, like you said, walk a block, walk 4 blocks. Now I just gotta take 5
OD.
steps out this motherfucker. I just gotta take
That's so
5
lucky.
steps.
Oh my god, I miss it so much.
To find a place
But
down here with a washer and dryer, you're gonna be paying like $5,000. So
Oh
in
mama,
water
oh
bills,
in New York,
mama,
in
hey
New
yo,
York, right?
water
In New
bills,
York, you're
yo,
gonna be
for
paying
real.
like 10 grand with the
Shit.
damn electric and water.
and it's so expensive. It's really drying us out over here, especially
Yeah,
when
New
we
York
don't
is
even have
very
people out
expensive.
here. We all moving out.
Yeah, a lot of people are moving over to Jersey City too.
OD.
I ain't
I
mad
saw
at it.
Carly B actually was downtown Jersey City looking at
Hmm.
apartments.
You
So
Crazy.
see,
it's
they're
telling
leaving New
you
York.
I
celebrities are even running away from New York. So
I ain't mad at it
Yeah,
because it's OD, man.
the cost of living is
OD.
becoming
That's one thing.
ridiculous.
But
Seeing,
like, but that's one of those where it's like, even though the cost of living could be the cheaper in one spot, also the work pay is also the same way to still make you struggle because of the fact that like I could tell you now, what I'm in a 4-bedroom crib and I'm paying what most people they're not even paying for rent. Like I'm paying a fraction of that for what I got. Like you can ask Justin, I was making our boy David jealous because of the fact that like of what I'm paying for my 4-bedroom compared to what he's paying
four
for his
bedroom, I got
apartment.
2.5, and I pay 3 times what he pays where
that's
he's at in
crazy.
Jersey City. Yeah,
Fast.
But I
But
feel like that's
within the
definitely the
same
tri-state area. So you would have
I'm about to
the,
move in with him. We got 4 bedrooms.
oh
God,
God,
especially
but
look
at
for
let
the
me
me and
get
my
same
one of those
time
kids.
though,
rooms.
but at the same time though, the work pay be crappy out there. Like how they pay, like how this over there the minimum wage be like 15 an hour. Over here we still down with 10 and shit, like 10, 11. Like you
That's
ain't find them.
crazy. That's
Yeah, that's what
nuts.
I'm saying. It's set
Yeah,
up.
that's what I
Nah.
It's
always
set
tell
up to make
people.
you stress.
I always tell people before you move anywhere, do not think about the rent. You need to find out what the minimum wage is because minimum wage is different everywhere. People don't tell you
Mm-hmm.
that. You might not know that,
They
but
don't.
minimum wage
Yeah,
is different in every state. All
And then
right.
the value
You
of the
it
can
really is.
dollar
you can
is too.
literally take a job from the state you're in, transfer it to another job, and they will drop your minimum wage because that's not their minimum wage. So
Happened to
Yeah,
me.
you guys do
Happened
need
to
to know
me.
that. It's
yeah.
you need to know the decisions that you make. There's certain things in the middle that you need to understand before you make those decisions. And that's
Mm-hmm.
one of them.
Facts.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
That happened to
crazy.
me
So
too.
and it's so crazy. So I was in Atlanta and I left that job with Shelter in Arms. And I went over to Clorox the very next day. It was enough to get another job. Like, I can speak. I can interview. I know how to do my resume. It ain't nothing. I got this job with Clorox. $2,500 every 2 weeks. Manual labor. Picking cotton. Racism to the T. I'm not dealing with that.
That's what
you really was.
Like,
they really was about to have you out there picking cotton, like for real?
No, I'm dragging OD. It wasn't picking cotton.
I just want to double check.
It was a metaphor.
I was about to hit it with
it as a metaphor, D.
OD. I would never. It's definitely one of those like, nah. So basically, some of the things working with Clorox, right? So
I'll pick some cotton for $1,000 an hour.
He said 1,000. I ain't doing that shit.
$1,000 an hour. Hey, cotton
got
to close the
benefits are beautiful, though.
I'm only playing.
Bro.
I'm joking.
The benefits are beautiful, right? You'll get the every month you get 7 days off. Every year, every month you get 7 days off.
So every month you get a week off. So you.
I used to get 8 days off my last job. They got to come up a little bit. We got to negotiate.
Yeah.
That part. we need more days. We need more time.
One more day, bro. I need one more day. You got to at least match with my other job.
And
then you work. So you basically work 4 days. You work 3 days a week, and the other 4 days you're off. Right? No, you work 3. You're off. You work 3. You're off 2. It's weird. The schedule's weird. You work 3, you're off 2, and then you start working your next 3. Sometimes every other week you're fluctuating night to day. So sometimes you'll work.
Oh, so you had
like crazy of a schedule.
Yeah, the swing shift. That's why they gave you the 7 days off, so you could get your life back together.
And the $2,500 every 2 weeks, right? And the amount of work that you are doing in a factory. In a warehouse is not even worth it.
They don't care about you, no.
Fuck the fact that I'm pretty.
There are special people for that.
Yes, he said, plus I'm pretty, so they definitely
He said I'm pretty. No cap. I ain't mad at you either.
I see you with them nails.
I was like, I gotta go.
Talk your shit.
This ain't for me.
Talk your shit.
I ain't mad at you. I'm too fond to be working here. Peace out.
I gotta go. They was wilding. Like people were getting sick, and it's like then it's not only that they were getting sick, they were getting mentally sick, physically sick. The amount of disrespect, the racism that was happening, and then it just goes back to who they hire.
Everywhere you go in big companies or corporations like that, you're gonna find racism.
But then it just goes back to who they hire. Right? You're having sex with the bigger bosses to get bigger positions. You're selling drugs on the job, and it's like
I dealt with that. I had a lot of people sell drugs on my job.
So, and it's one of those things like, how do you get out of this?
It's like
situation?
They got a job within a job, man. Like it's a job within a job. I get this job so I can sell my crack or my weed at this job.
Right.
Nobody will never know because I got the job. Like
that part.
But then you lose the job because they found out you were selling at the job, and you be lucky if they don't call the cops on you, man.
And then unless you're good enough to get it in with your manager,
that's not true.
You know
one person will snitch on you. It would take only one. They will snitch on you.
And then the entire warehouse or that entire company will know that you're selling.
Yeah, and it only takes you one time to get on somebody's bad side, and they're gonna go right to the higher ups. So even if you got, even if say if I'm the guy that's going to the higher ups, I'm not gonna go to my boss because I could think like, yo, he might got my boss, buying this shit over him too. So I'm just gonna get corporate number, call corporate, and let me talk to corporate about it and just give them some information that they can use. That's what snitches do, bro. That's what snitches do, bro.
What if he's selling the corporate?
It happened to me. They be snitching, bro.
You guys,
let me clarify. I wasn't selling no damn drugs at my job. I never sold a damn drug a day in
my life.
You
got snitched on.
Selling a weed.
All right, I never sold no weed or nothing. All right, I smoke it. I don't sell it. All right, I smoke it. I don't sell it. All right.
Good job.
I don't sell it.
Good.
You don't need to sell it. All right.
Good. Don't do that. It's so shade.
And don't do
none
drugs.
Of us. Don't do drugs. It's so shade.
All right. Weed ain't a drug, but don't do drugs.
The plan.
They be like, I got my license.
Yeah, I gotta get mine. I'm still working on getting mine. But so E, let me ask you, what makes you feel inspiration or like your best self in life? What makes you feel like your best self?
It's so funny that you said that. That you say that.
Living my best life.
Okay. My thing is, regardless on what's happening, it's the small moments, right? It's those moments where get the fuck out of my face. Don't call me, don't text me, leave me alone. My phone is dead, and it's dead for a reason, because I want to be alone, right? I want to be in this space. It might be I'm not gonna drag it, but it's a drag. I might want to be in a dark room watching my little TV show and
no shame in that. There's no shame
Leave me the fuck alone.
If you guys can't tell, I love being in the dark. So,
mama,
you see what I'm saying? So it's just one of those things.
I got the light on is because I'm black as hell. Y'all won't see me. Turn it all you'll see is my.
It'll go blackout on us.
Be two anonymous people. Talking to two anonymous people.
Right. So it's definitely one of those things where I like the time that I get to be alone, right? And with that, it brings me to true self, right? So when it's time to go out, or it's time to go out in the world to go shopping, or it's time to go out in the world and motivate the youth, motivate the adults, how you be like, prepare yourself to curse out that coworker in a positively way, right? Without losing your job. I need those moments. And that's what brings me to my true self. And of course, dancing and all those great things, because at the end of the day, those are things that help me cope with those problems that's happening in real time. Right. So coming back to Atlanta, it's so funny. I joined the house of Playboy. Crazy. It's not inappropriate. It's a Vogue house.
Nice.
And it's so funny how I heard about it. They fucked up with one of the spaces that I gave them, and the manager, she calls me, and I'm in Florida I'm engaged with my.
Congratulations! We didn't know that.
Congrats. Thank you. Congrats. I just got engaged. She proposed on the phone, and I was just like, so I don't want it to happen over the phone. We need to do this in person. But I mean, I am going to say yes.
You two do live in two different states, right?
Yeah.
I feel you.
But yeah, I'm at his house and I received that phone call, and he's like, and she's like, so all of these members are just disrespecting the staff, and they're destroying the building, and they're smoking and doing drugs in front of the building and all of this other stuff. And I was just like, hey, like, what else are they doing? They're writing Playboy inappropriate names on official documents. I was like, Playboy? What kind of pornography is happening here? So I was just freaking out. I was like, oh my God. So I called the leader immediately, and I was just like, what the fuck is wrong with you guys? What is going on? Like, this shouldn't be happening. You guys know that this space was to be is a youth center, a youth development center, as well as they do programs for adults as well. And I helped you guys out with getting you guys a space to use, and you guys are disrespecting these people and documenting inappropriate names to this organization. Like, that's completely inappropriate, right? So I get back and I speak to them. We no longer have that space, which is fine, but I'm still in good contacting, still in good with the lady. She's amazing. But yeah, so I then speak to the leaders of Playboy, and they meet me, and they're like, oh my God, you got this space, and then you got this other space for us, and you're doing all of this, and you're motivating, and you're speaking to the youth, and you're bringing in more people, and now we're about to do this performance in December, blah, 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 blah. They're like, you're so amazing. I was like, thank you. Well, and they're like, by the way, we didn't mean to. The name that the kids or the members put is technically the house name or the organization name. So they'll put Jasmine Playboy or Oliver Playboy, right? And I was like, oh, that's the Vogue Dance House's name. Okay, that makes sense. Thank you. Let me call the organization, let them know it was a misunderstanding, blah, 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 blah. I still understand that you guys don't want them here anymore, but I just want that confusion to be water under the bridge, right? Boom, toss that shit away, right? So yeah, so I'm with this house, and being with this house, it allows me to perform, to dance, and mentor these youth and the young adults that we have in the house, as well as some of the leaders. Like, we talk, we laugh, and all that great shit. But doing that gives me inspiration and motivation, and it makes me happy, right? So it feels like I'm at work, but I'm not at work. But
that's
now
why they always
going
say
back
to do
to
something you love. That's really what I was about to say.
you
I
have
don't
to
want
do
to cut you
something you
off.
love
That's
to
it.
keep you
Hell yeah.
motivated and happy.
It brings you life. I felt that way when I was
And getting
modeling.
back to
Hell
that
yeah.
question that you had, Justin, about how is your
How you
career,
find that
or I
motivation.
forgot what you said. What makes it hard to pursue that career?
Yeah.
It's the generation. It took too long for me to develop this performance or to go out. So now being in this house, it allows me to gear my dream in another direction, which is still performance, but now it's within modeling and runway. And I can still do dance and all those great things, but I can still perform and still use my dance skills and my networking skills to another part of my dream, so I can still stay happy.
So now my question is, I feel like a good question of mine would play into what you have, what like you're leading up to, would be, is it hard for you in general, just being a Black man along with your sexuality in your field of work, as it opposed from now to 5 years ago?
Hell yeah. Oh.
He said, "You're passionate. I feel you."
You guys did see me working over there. I'm sorry, I had to fix something before to cut our video off. So
no, you're fine.
Legit.
Yeah, I was fixing something.
Oh, that just touched the subject. So okay, well, I can't even do long story short because it's such a long story.
Right.
So I'm gonna try to shorten it and just brief it so you can understand it. Because working for a city organization, right? I just feel like this is an all-around thing, and me being me, and we all three of us actually grew up in a Boys and Girls Club. They try to they give you the knowledge and the skills on how to perceive yourself to the world, as well as still being true to yourself. Right? Great to know, great aspect to have. But at the same time, you should never dim down yourself. To get this job, it's no shade. I wore a suit and I wore a tie. I made sure to make sure my hair was cut. I still had blonde hair. But I went in there, I aced it, and then I became myself. I showed you who I was as a teacher, as a motivator, and as an activist, as a person. But at the end of the day, I'm still gonna show you that I am a gay Black man.
That's right. You got some character.
So, it's not even to say a character. This is just something you develop within yourself.
Yeah,
you just have to.
No, I'm saying you have character, not that you're putting on a character. I'm just saying you have character in general yourself. You know,
right?
Like we all have character, just like within the three of us ourselves.
And it's just something that you have to learn to switch on and off to get certain things that you need. Right? I got the job.
Hey.
2 months within the job, I saw the bullshit. I seen it, but it was something that I could handle. It was definitely something I could handle. It wasn't bad. It wasn't over the top, but it was definitely something that was out of the box for a Boys and Girls Club, right? And it being a city agency. So I go to the first training, and you guys know the Adidas track pants, the black with the different color stripes that they had back in the day, like in 2015, 16. I had those on, and I had on my work shirt. Now they were super tight. So they were,
they were just my skin.
Like, it's no shade, right? So everybody's like, oh, who's this new gay guy? Like, who is this? And this is all that I'm hearing. And I'm just like, oh my God, what the fuck is going on? So I'm just keeping my composure. I'm still being kind. They're talking about EEO, equal employee opportunities, and other right to know things about the organization, as well as getting to know the commissioners and all these other great things. So I'm sitting there, and we go to do an icebreaker. One of the icebreakers was closing our eyes, and we're standing in two different lines, and we have to pass the movement down to the person at the end. The person at the end, whoever gets the hand squeeze, they have to now open their eyes and find the object in the room and bring it back to the person that passed the first beat. Boom. I'm going against this guy. I'm very active, and that's just who I am, right?
Mm-hmm.
I get the squeeze, and it's like, open your eyes, look for the ball. I'm running around the gym looking for the ball. I find they put the ball behind the soccer net, which is all the way behind the bleachers.
Mm-hmm.
Mind you, we're running around the gym for like 3 minutes looking for this ball, and I find it because I see it, but it's all the way across the gym. So that we both see it, we both dart. When I tell you, I slid like a soccer player, kicked the soccer thing. It was I'm competitive, so it was like, nah, screw that, boom, kick the soccer thing. He jumps on top of me. I push him off of me. I grab his leg by accident because I'm pushing him off of me. Like, get off of me, you're doing too much. We're both doing too much. And I grab the ball and I got it and I bring it back to the person.
I was about to say, y'all was kind of flirting there, huh?
Not at all. It was like, get off of me, like, bitch. I know I'm running, so I have to get the ball.
Like y'all was
Who told you to jump on top of me?
Nah, you sit here saying that they flirting. I'm thinking he about to elbow drop him just because he trying to get
like, it's no shade. Like, it was very much
flirting.
He was like, what?
He was like,
get off of me.
He was like, you think he'll think I like him if I jump on top of him?
He said, I'm about to mount him.
I left it alone because I'm just thinking competitively. It wasn't even thinking like, I like you or you like me or, ooh, bitch, you cute. Let me touch your thigh. No, get off me. No touchy-feely, nothing. I'm thinking this as a game. This is supposed to be safe, right? As well as, bitch, you know I'm gay. Stay the fuck away from me. I'm trying to keep a low profile so I don't get no judgmental comments or I curse somebody out.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I don't want to cut you off in your story, but I was going to say, I had a question. Do you experience that? Like, how do you say it? You know what I'm saying, right? Do you experience like
I do. I do.
And I don't even know how to ask the question, but you know what I'm saying. I don't even know how to ask the question.
You're basically asking, do I experience it's basically harassment.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Basically harassment. Yeah. It is. Okay. Because now look, at the end of the story, the gist of the story is all of the Bronx got into the van, and the person that's driving the van was like, the person that jumped on you was like, oh, you was touching all up on him and you was being really inappropriate with him. The way that I felt disrespected. Cause now I elbowed
that's
you.
What I want to get to. I
grabbed you to get you off of me, and then I elbowed you. I didn't touch you with my hand again. I elbowed you like, bow. Like, no, get off me. Like, you saw that I slid and I hit the net, and then you chose to jump on top of me? Not on my leg, on my back.
He saw a pony and he was trying to ride it.
Okay.
That's the only thing I can get from it, because if you said you
slid, there was no need. There was
the ball was over here.
Trying to set people up.
Right. And now you're spreading this rumor. No, that's completely unfair. That was completely underlined and undercut. That was disrespectful. And the fact that you're bringing it to managers, and I have never seen you a day in my life or even spoken to you.
You don't even know me from a can of paint.
This is the point. This is real. Everybody, no matter what your sexual preference is or what you are in life, bro, everybody experiences harassment. Everybody experiences harassment.
It is. And it even goes to football and basketball. When you're playing these sports, it does become physical sometimes. But then when you have that one gay person in the room, they always target us. And I just feel like that was a target, right? And then of course, years gone by, and people seeing how I move, and it's so funny. So I'm Black, I'm gay, and there's no dance teacher. There's only 3 dance teachers within this organization, actual like people that they know that teaches dance, right? And has some education under their belt, right? Moving forward. A city organization looking at that, they see you as a person that can potentially be in leadership, right? So then they move you up faster and they give you jobs faster. I mean, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. And people telling me, like, people already in your field, people already in your corner, you got these jobs in the bag. Like, I'm not knowing this because I've only been here for almost 2 years. And now that I'm getting this interview again, and my managers and other colleagues are saying that you shouldn't be going for these jobs. You don't qualify. You don't have the attitude. I had self-esteem issues, and it was only because how I left my old job, right?
Right.
So they see us as a threat, right?
Why do you think that is, though?
Because at the end of the day, coming from where we came from, it's no shade. When you come from I feel like if you come from an enrichment program that gives you everything you need, right? It's just how you use it. And you being a Black male or a Black female, you being a lesbian or being bisexual, pansexual, being any of these different orientations, people are intrigued. They want to ask questions. They want to judge you. And as soon as the whole organization sees you as a paragon or sees you as this positive thing or this leadership thing, all the negative people draw in, and they want to knock you down. They want to knock you down. They want to put bad things on your name. They want to cause problems for you, right? So in my case, I've had so many problems with working with this organization for the past 7 years. For the past 7 years, and I just had this conversation with one of my coworkers, and it's no shade. Legal matters is about to come in, because at the end of the day, it's unacceptable. It's not fair. It's not okay. And when you speak up, no one comes to defend you because they know what they did, or they don't want to get their name tarnished because they don't have a name, or they have a name and they are doing just as worse. And you're not even doing anything to hurt the organization.
And they probably don't want to get canceled, basically.
Right.
Yeah, the new cancel culture.
Basically, that's how I look at
it
that.
really is. It really is a cancel culture, because at the end of the day, when you go to speak up, they look at you as, oh, you're the problem now. We don't want you here.
When is it going to end?
It never was, because that goes into my little bag of things where I say it's a part of the cycle.
It really
like
is.
How
it is.
Saying, as soon as they see you trying to come up, everybody that's a hater or that don't like it or feels like it should have been them, all because they was too punk or too pussy to say something.
Or they just don't want to do the hard work to get where you at.
That too, or they lazy.
And it's no shade. You just have to know how to
some
behave.
people just don't want to do the hard work.
Balls up. For
they
real.
don't.
That's really what it is.
They don't.
For real.
So,
or some people want the work,
and that's where the story began. Don't do nothing. But that I feel like that's everywhere, right? You even have the people, and it's crazy, because even when you look, I live in South Richmond Hill. It's because it's so sad.
Right.
It's so sad, because even look at the different cultures that's in our communities, right? That works in bodegas or works in
shout out
in
to
these
bodegas,
different shops.
by the way. I miss them so much. Bodegas
it ain't nothing like a bodega sandwich, bro.
Oh no, it is not.
I hated Atlanta for that.
Like
you had to go to a supermarket. And I was like, what is sweet bread? This shit is fat.
That's why I don't want to leave where I'm at, but the crime rate is crazy. I got kids. So I gotta think about it. Either have the corner store sandwiches.
I want to go into real estate just so I could buy a corner front, just so I can make a bodega on mama.
Right.
Oh, mama.
We might have to just take one from where I'm at, bro. We might have to just take
one. God, bro. Oh God, bro.
But no, so besides your workplace, where's other places that you feel as a Black gay man you experience harassment or discrimination?
Like, it's so funny because it's everywhere, right? Better yet, no. I told one of my one of the kids in the house that I will speak about this. So trans males, right?
Okay. I gotta get
they get discriminated against a lot. And the discrimination comes from being either a fetish or being attracted to.
Now,
right?
Now educate me real quick so I know which one we on. Now, trans male, is that going from male to female?
Female to male.
Female to male. All right, cool.
And trans female is from female.
From male to female.
Yeah. Right. Boom. That's what that is. And with trans male, they still have their female organisms if they choose to have it. So it will be harder for them to get a penis. It will be harder for the guys to get a penis, but to get their titties removed, that's easy. right? Just remove the breast and sew them shits back up. Boom.
Yeah.
Simple, easy.
I
With
don't
a
even
guy
got
going to a
titties, and that
female, they'll
made me
cut their
feel
shits
some type
off.
of way.
Yeah, we don't want to think about the process.
Right. It's just a lot.
Feel bad. Just like I
look,
just feel bad of just changing your parts like that.
We support
you
guys.
Hey, whatever
we
makes
love you guys.
whatever makes you happy, for real.
That you go through your own. I don't want nothing to do with your.
You could do that when you could do that on your own time,
nothing
right?
to do with nobody's surgeries. Nah, because I used to work with.
And it's scary. It's so scary.
That's how I feel. That's just scary.
I used to work with a girl who was dating a woman that was transitioning into a male, and you couldn't even tell that he was a woman. He
used to be a woman.
The day I met him, I was like, "What's up, dog? What's up, my nigga?" Like, that's how I addressed him. So for me, it ain't no problem. Like the one thing I do want to address here, and it's like, where do you feel like in the agendas that's being pushed today? Where do you feel like you guys are misconceived and are going wrong at? Because for me and a lot of other people I talk to, as being parents, a lot of the agendas that's being pushed on kids, we don't think it's fair or right for the kids to be exposed to that, because it's been a lot of things over the last 20 years that we fight for to keep kids unexposed for, human trafficking, pedophiles, and people trying to harm them and kill them and all this other stuff. And then it's like you push these agendas on them at a young age, and they don't even know what this conversation is. They don't literally don't even know what the conversation is that we're having to give them these rights to decide what sex they are at 4. It's what I heard at 4. That for me being a parent,
because they're not even experiencing the world.
Right. It's a little
know what half the stuff is.
Right. It's a little crazy for me that a child, like, I don't care if a grown up wants to make any decision they want in life, but for people out here, and I don't think it's, and I'll preface by saying this, I don't think it's the transgender people. I think it's the people that you guys are allowing to push the agendas for you guys, that are pushing.
I agree.
These transgender history in schools, and this 4-year-olds can determine what kind of sex they are. I think because the message, because I was around and you correct me if I'm wrong, because I had this conversation with a lot of my gay and lesbian friends, like when the fight first started between gays and lesbians, when you guys when you first started fighting for your rights, right, it was to not be discriminated against, to have equal opportunity to get a job, to marry your same sex and have the same affordable rights that everybody else had, right? And now I feel like in today, it's not even about your protection anymore. It's just about pushing agendas out to get what other people want, because I don't hear transgenders coming out. And I could be wrong about this, but I don't hear transgenders coming out talking about they want 4-year-olds to be transgender. I don't hear them saying that. I hear women on TV. I hear women on TV.
It's not being pushed enough. And it's not to say that they don't want it to be pushed. It's just not being spoken about, right?
What do you mean? What's not being spoken about? I just want to be clear.
It's not being spoken about whether you 4-year-olds or 12-year-olds want to be transgender. Because look at Gabrielle Union. Gabrielle Union and her husband, their daughter wanted to become a transgender man. She wanted to switch, right? So, and they're okay with it. Now, I don't understand why it's still not being spoken about, or other people are not coming forward with this. Because at the end of the day, if the child brings it up to their parent, we don't know when this was brought up, but we do know that it was brought up and the parents are now okay with it, right?
I think that's a good situation. If the parents are okay with it,
it shouldn't be a problem.
That's not. But so can we say?
Now look, how is this 12-year-old child paying for these surgeries?
Yeah, he's not. But can we say two things? Because two things can be true at once. It could be okay for parents that are okay with their children doing that. It could be fine then. But can you also agree that on the other end, with parents that's not fine with it, that it can be okay there too? No. Why not?
No. And it's just because then that child is going to grow to resent you, or grow to not understand why am I. So for great example, we have a whole gay lesbian community where, great example. There was a thing on Facebook where there was a boy getting bullied by his parents, and something happened in school and they brought it back to the house, and he was getting whippings, and they cut his hair because he was playing with his hair at work or something, at school or something, and they cut all of his hair off, and he was getting attacked because he was gay. And he's this young gay boy that chose to be gay, or this is who he wants to be. So now he's in foster care or he's in the system, right? So who's to say when he's 17, he's not going to go back and kill his parents? Who's to say he's not going to wake up and now beat on his kids because now he's straight and stop them from being gay or stop them from being lesbians, right? Or being transgender or polyamorous or all these other.
That's one thing I would say.
You can't neglect how a child feels.
Yeah, I would say this. I always told my girl this because I have 2 kids. If my son turned out gay, I'm fine with it. If my daughter turned out lesbian, I'm fine with it. I don't care.
Right.
That doesn't change my mind as long as they know, because I grew up around a cousin who knew he was different at 5. Right. But to say for me, and this is just my opinion, you guys don't have to agree, but this is just my opinion. To say a 4-year-old knows what that difference means is mind-blowing to me, because kids don't know what sex is. At a 4 years old, you don't know. At 12, maybe that's different. The Wade's son was a lot older than a 4-year-old.
But then look at this. You have 4-year-olds that are getting molested by their uncles and aunts.
That's true. That is true. But I think that's
and that's why and that's possibly why they know about sex, which brings in other factor
into it. And that's what I wanted you to point out. I wanted you to point out the other factors in it, because I could understand it from being around my gay cousin Poppy and my gay cousin Tbrown, rest in peace. And
Poppy the man's, by the way.
Me and E met in college, and we built a great friendship, and we even tried to make an anti-bullying association in the college down here. Yeah, it didn't work because nobody wanted to do what they wanted to do but me. Really, me and E. It was me and me and E had a falling out at the end.
It's no shade. That's all I was a kid. I was like, oh my God, we're not talking for a long time.
I gave up. I gave up because nobody wanted to do it, and E didn't like that I gave up, because he knew I'm not a quitter, but I just couldn't. I couldn't do it. I couldn't continue to give my time and effort to something that nobody else was showing up for. I used to work overnight, get home at 7, sleep for an hour, go to the school, have a meeting, and then I'll be up the rest of the day trying to figure everything else out. So I do think there's other aspects that go into it, but I think we need to get to a place with if it's not violent, because I agree with what you're saying, E. You can still hear us? I agree with what you're saying. When it comes to the violent part of it, no, that needs to be addressed. But if it's
non-violent, because it's out of control.
Yeah, if it's non-violent, like me, I'm not gonna sit here and spew to my kids that you shouldn't be gay, you shouldn't be this. When they come to an age of asking questions, because I'll keep it 100% with you. My son's not comfortable with it. His teacher slipped and said something. He exited his Zoom, and he's 9. He literally exited Zoom because the teacher was like, it could be 2 fathers and 2 mothers, and he didn't understand it. He was like, I don't think I'm supposed to be hearing this, and he hung up. So now it's up to the parents, and this is why I think is key, and this is why I don't like the agenda that's being pushed on y'all behalf, because I don't think it's y'all pushing it. I think it's being pushed on y'all behalf. I would say that again. But for kids that's not comfortable with it, the agenda is to make them comfortable with it. But the only thing we can do is what my father did to me. I didn't have transgender history. I didn't have a gay history in class. I didn't have a lesbian history. But my father sat us down. He told us what it was. And that gave us the respect for you guys, as we seem to respect everybody else that was around us, because we didn't grow up seeing everybody as individuals. We grew up, especially me, I grew up as seeing people as human. And that's all I see people as. So that's what I want my kids to see people as human. It doesn't matter what you date in life. I come from a time where nobody knew what you dated in life. If you was gay, nobody could really know that. If you was lesbian, nobody really knew. If you was straight, nobody really knew. I come straight from the 90s where people kept their business to themselves. We live in a time today where everybody wants to be accepted. Everybody wants to fit into a role, where you guys need to just be yourselves. If you're a gay, be gay. If you're a lesbian, be lesbian. If you want to be trans, be trans. But my thing is you guys need to come together as a whole and start really pushing the agenda that you guys want to push. Safety, non-being discriminated against. The same agenda gays and lesbians started with. I think you guys need to get back to that, because women, there are some people that are coming into the LGBT community and using it as a front to get into places. Like some men have used it and are going to continue using it to get into places.
Of course, they definitely are.
And that's another concern.
And then they're going to just blame it on us, and we're the problem.
And that's what I said to Tbrown when we talked a couple of months ago. I was like, because it's these 2 reports that I know of so far with trans men going into women's spas naked with their penis swinging in front of kids. And it's like, do we have do you guys have to give respect on that end? And it's like, in my mindset, I didn't even go to transgender today. I went to, it's a guy who was like, I'm going to show these niggas the loophole. And that's what he did. He went and did that because some people just think you have to go to a stream to get your point across. And these probably are people that don't even like the community. That's like, I'm going to do this so people could see the hate in the community and start hating them. So that's why I said, you guys need to stand up and start pushing the agenda you guys started first pushing, because now everybody's getting into it, twisting it up, putting all this other stuff. You got people taking your titles and finding the loopholes in it. And that's what I said too, with transgenders, it's going to be really hard for them to get to the place where they want to be with respect, because there's going to be a lot of pedophiles.
It's I feel like it's definitely not going to be hard.
This is why I'm going to explain to you why it's going to be hard. It is going to be hard because a lot of pedophiles are going to take on the transgender role to get to where they want to be. Pedophiles are literally going to take on the transgender role to get into bathrooms, to get into spas, to get into these places with kids, to get in these places. And you're going to start seeing that trickle effect. And it's good, like you said, you pointed it out, you said the most important thing. It's going to get blamed on you guys, on your community. And my point is we need to find a solution for it. Let everybody be themselves in a safe place where everybody is safe. Kids, transgenders, lesbians.
There should be a guideline on how everyone can be safe. There should be a structure. There should be
there's a guy on Instagram who literally just put in words on his screen, I identify as a woman, and then lifted some weights, and he broke the weightlifting record for women. And it's like,
but then there's guidelines against that, right?
But he did it.
But look, you can't identify as a woman without getting it legally changed. You can't. You have to get your.
So how can by getting it legally changed, know that you got it legally changed? Do you have some type of document? ID?
Okay. There's documentation that says it. So you know how like we go to the Boys and Girls Club and we fill out this application and then we get our club cards and all we have to do is show them a birth certificate or even a report card. Right.
Yeah.
With spas, to get memberships, you have to show them your state ID.
Right.
That's you fill out the application and your ID. Now, if your ID doesn't match your application, then that spa is not doing their jobs, and they need to fire those people.
So let's say
because now you're documenting things completely wrong.
Yeah. To your point of documenting things wrong. There's in one instance, the guy went in, showed his ID, and just told the clerk, I identify as a woman, and she let him in the spa.
She's not doing her job.
Right. And I think that's the point. But that's the point I want to get to. That's the point
I
want to get to. I want to get to the point that there are loopholes.
That's slippery slope.
There are loopholes in the way that things are right now with the LBTG community. And I say it slow.
But now look, there's not enough of us in those higher up areas where we can rectify that. Like we can protest. We can do like a Trans Lives Matter. We can do an LGBT rights Lives Matter. We definitely can. But will that then affect those organizations that stop the bottom people?
Yeah, because what you're doing is you're fighting a bigger power.
I personally feel like some of the organizations are putting these rules in, but it's just up to those workers. And if the workers aren't getting supervised close enough, then of course they're going to get away with it.
But it's not going to be implemented if somebody implemented, basically.
Right. I had this problem at my job the other day. And it's about the vaccine, right? So with Parks and Recreation now, in order to come into any of the buildings, you have to be fully vaccinated and you need to show your membership card. I do my job. I'm a stickler. And it's not to say that I'm a stickler.
I'm a stickler.
At the end of the day, the rule is the rule, and these are the guidelines, right? And this is to keep me safe, keep them safe, and keep these members safe, right? And it's not even to say it's about the job. It's to keep everybody safe. Fuck how I feel about the vaccine. Right, because I have different opinions about the vaccine, but at the end of the day, this is the rule.
Yeah,
right. And that's what it is.
So I'm at the job, I'm at the front desk, and members are coming in. Management walks in and it's just like, yeah, by the way, we just got a notification that's saying that all the recreational centers are allowing people to come into the building, but only if they're fully vaccinated. The community I serve is Hunts Point area, and we are 40% of the Bronx. 40% of the Bronx is not vaccinated, and it's that area.
Crazy.
Right, and it's specifically that area. Right, moving forward. knowing that we are in the center and we are the only recreational center in this area that the community can come to, it hurts me. But at the end of the day, I have to do my job, right?
That's hurtful.
You have to show your vaccination. So you're going to have kids coming in showing other people's vaccinations. So you have to look at that vaccination card, ask for their ID, and ask for their booking. You have to be that thorough, right? Now, I've seen on numerous occasions where vaccines weren't asked for, right? And then I question it and I get pushed back on it. Don't ask me to do the front desk then. Because I'm not getting put at fault because you guys aren't following the rules.
Right, and I think that's the key. When you don't follow rules,
fuck
man,
to how you feel about the rules. You have to follow these rules. Because look, like you said, somebody's gonna get blamed for it. And knowing me, look at this LGBT situation. The guy is a weightlifter and he identifies as a female, but his ID does not say female.
Right.
It says male, so you do not identify as a female.
Nope.
Who forged your paperwork? Who lied for you? Those people need to be fired. They have to be fired. Someone needs to be reprimanded. Someone has to, because all of this will then trickle down to backfiring on us.
Slope, like I said.
Because that's what that's every time I talk about the LGBT community, I always think about how you guys could stay safe and how you guys could get your agenda across without anybody stepping on your toes getting stepped on, anybody agendas getting pushed aside for, you know, your agendas or your agendas getting pushed aside for somebody else's agendas. It has to be a common ground. And I think that's where we're not at yet with it. We're not at a common ground
we're
where
definitely not
transgenders have a safe
Especially
space.
Because there's so many ignorant people, man.
That's true.
Because even look at the education system. Look at the education system. They don't want to implement an LGBT history within the history books, right? They don't want to talk about other LGBT problems within health education or within all of these other subjects, and they push us to the side. Like, this shit is not okay.
They might as well, since they got all these other pointless ass classes and other places that really ain't.
It's no shit. We don't got no extracurricular activities, so what else we gonna talk about?
New Jersey did pass the law that they teach transgender history in schools. I don't know when it goes into effect. I don't know when it goes into effect. But I know a lot of.
Now that's dope.
So I kind of, and I'll be full honest here, you know, because we all give an opinion. It is in my opinion. I do have a problem with it. I do have a problem with that. Like teaching that history, because when you think about us going to school and what history was, what history really was taught in school, I don't have a problem. Right? No, but I don't have. That's fine. That's fine. But I'm just talking about you are correct in that, but I'm just talking about the history that we learned, you know, the history of America. And I'm not saying you guys aren't part of America, because you are, and your story does deserve to be told somewhere. But my point is, how do you regulate it? What ages get taught it? Do parents get a say? Because it all comes down to, when you're thinking about children.
But then think about Christopher Columbus. Think of slavery. Slavery is taught.
That is 100% true.
You see what I'm saying? There's no regulations for that.
But that's what I'm saying.
So why can't we just have that common ground?
Right.
Because there's no saying, how do we get there? Black history is fire as fuck, but we have to learn it.
See,
we have to learn our civil rights.
I'll be the first one to say I agree with Morgan Freeman. Right. I agree with Morgan Freeman. I don't support Black History Month because I'm black all year round. All right. We need to get out of this stigma of giving people months and days to. The government does that just to shut us up. All right. So when you guys really, and that's not okay. Don't give up your fight, because when they give you something, you give up your fight. They won. Giving you guys a LBTG day or whatever. I don't know if they did give you guys a Pride Day. That's
gave
so
us
you
a
guys
day, but we dragged it into the month.
But you guys let them win by doing that. Tell them you don't want that. You want real solutions. You want real solutions to the problems that you guys face. Because with them giving you a Pride Month, with them giving Black people a Black History Month, they didn't address none of the issues. They didn't address none of the problems. They're doing the exact same thing they did to Black people.
Just now doing something for June.
But they're doing the same exact thing they did to Black people to shut us up to now y'all community. That's what they're doing by giving you guys, and you can tell because they're pushing some agendas that you guys don't need pushed, and they're taking your agendas, like you just said, and they're pushing to the side. I do think if they want to talk about history and redefine history, and you want to put the gay community, the lesbian community in history, you need to define what age, you need to define whether kids' parents have a say, because I think
they don't.
I have a say in what my kid is taught.
Black history.
Right. But
slavery.
I
but we never had a say in
that's great. That is 100%. But now we do have a say in it, because when my son learned about slavery, I was right there with him correcting the wrongs there. And I think as parents, we take a lot of responsibility. Right. But that's what I'm saying.
We could do that at home.
And that's what I'm saying. Teachings back in the 90s to the early 2000s when I grew up, these type of teachings about gay, transgenders, lesbians were taught at home, and they were taught and where I grew up. They were taught for us to look at them as human and to have respect. And if people can go about it that way and just teach the history of, look, they've been around this long, they are people, respect them, don't discriminate against them. Just because you've seen somebody, hurt them or discriminate against them, curse them out, don't mean you get to do it. Have integrity, have respect, have love.
Right.
And I think that's the key as parents, and me being a parent, and me as being a son of a parent, I could understand the faults back then of our school systems and the faults of the teachings that our parents had. And we have the power now, this generation, we have the power to correct them. Even standing alongside the LGBT community, we have the power to correct all these mistakes of the history that wasn't taught right, the things that's getting pushed now. Because let me ask you an honest question. E, do you think and this is why I say it doesn't belong in schools, because they're not going to teach it right. They're not going to teach our history. They're going to make it.
It's not even to say not teach it right, because at the end of the day, if you get the right teacher with the right curriculum, they will teach it right.
Somebody, it's like
they will teach it right.
If you're gonna have
that's 100% correct. I agree with you. I would
want that's like Elijah, someone that's like got someone that's a good head on their shoulders. That's a part of that field that's doing it.
Right.
I don't want some Joe Schmo that just got a piece of paper saying that they can do this.
No shade.
And they're not from this.
Right.
Like,
but at the end of the day, but look, and it's not even to only say that they're good, but that's how you get them. Right. You need a Joe Schmo to you need that in order for them to teach it. And it's not to say that we want any Joe Schmo. We want somebody from the hood, somebody that actually fought.
Right. I agree with Tyrone. I think they need to put more of your community in those positions to teach our history, because
I completely agree, but at the same time, they also need to have the papers.
Right. But I agree. But you guys, it takes just like black people to step up and getting jobs. It's the same thing with you guys. You guys got to step up and get these jobs, because that's how they're going to teach you right. And I 100% right. I 100% agree with you when you say it's the teachers, because I had a college professor that I talked to this day. Shout out Miss Humble. Shout out Miss Fire. She know who she is. But she was an amazing teacher, bro. And I learned so much from her. And the way I think today is a little bit shaped of what she taught me, because it was the way she taught me. It was literally the way she taught me. And I always looked at that as a key. And I was like, yo, when I have kids, because I didn't have kids when I was in college, but when I have kids, I'm always going to look at the way I teach them things, because that's how people really have those things stick with them throughout life. It's the way you teach them. So history, why does Black history stick to Black people the way it does? Because the way they taught it, they pushed it on us, made it seem like it was something good, made it seem like they gave us something for it when they didn't. What I'm saying is you guys got to expect the same thing when they put you in books. When they start teaching you in schools, they're gonna twist it. They're gonna make it into a story they want it to be. And the only way we find a solution for it, because remember, we're here to find solutions, and if you guys write the book, if you guys write the stories, because that's the only way people are gonna really know the true story. Black people didn't write the Black history story.
Nope.
Christopher
Columbus,
somebody that knew Christopher Columbus didn't write Christopher Columbus' story, or you would know about the evil things he did. And that's my point of saying that's why I don't think you guys should be fighting to put it in schools, because they're just going to teach it wrong like they teach everything else wrong. And then now you guys got another fight on your hands trying to get that changed to what it needs to be, and still fighting for your rights everywhere around the world, because you guys are still
but then look, one thing that I will say about that, we do have schools here in New York City, Harvey Milk, where they still teach all the American histories about the civil rights, Black History Month, math, and all those other great subjects. But they also do have a curriculum for the LGBT history, right? It should not only be in that school, because that is an LGBTS school. It should not only be in that school. Right. It should evolve and go into the other departments of education. It should go into the other schools.
Right.
Why it's not, I have to look more into it. But I think
the answer to why is because parents. I think that's really going to be the problem. You guys got to get past the
But
parents.
going back to what you said, we need to fight.
They need to teach
for
it
to happen,
right.
so it can be in the schools.
Yeah, but it needs to be taught a right way, and it has to be. See, that's what I'm saying, because you got to think. Not one parent is the same. Not one parent teaches their kid the same. So
well,
I
agree.
I understand. You do have some parents
out
there
everybody learns the same
right, but
either.
you do have some parents out there that teach their kids, you know, that lesbian, gays, and you know the rest of y'all community is wrong, or something bad is bad, or something wrong with you guys. That has to change.
I agree.
Excuse me. That has to change. That has to change. If we could come to a place, as parents, right? I'm talking to all the parents out here, because I know as a parent, like I said, I told you guys I don't agree with transgender history going into school. Not just me as a parent, because I want the tool to teach them, because I know I'm going to teach them the right way. And when my kids go out into the world, they're going to see a gay person, they're going to see a lesbian, transgender, or queer, and they're not going to see them no different from themselves. That's what the key is. The key is people not to see anybody different from what themselves when it comes to black and white, and when it comes to straight and being gay, or straight and being something else. We can't see each other as something else, because that's where the dividing come from. That's when we divide each other, and one side wants to be better than the other side. No, we need to come to a common ground where transgenders have a safe place, lesbians still have their safe place, gay people have their safe place, and straight people still have their safe place, women and men. Because in this also of them trying to give you guys things, they're affecting other people's spaces with loopholes they're leaving, and not giving you guys the right type of laws and the right type of, you know, procedures you guys need to push forward. And that's the problem I see in the community, is that you guys are getting the same thing done to y'all that we were getting done to us. And that's why I think they added the black into y'all flag, because now they're trying to lump us all into one. And I don't think nobody is noticing
about that.
I don't like it.
Why not?
I don't like it.
Why not?
And it's just because
as a black gay man, why not?
As a black gay man, at the end of the day, we all have our own struggles. We all have our own
that's
rights.
What I was looking for.
It's no shade. Like, you cannot compare gay struggles to black struggles. You can't, because it's not to say that they're not the same. But they're two different entities. They're two different fights.
It's two different fights.
They're two different fights. You can't have gay pride during black pride. You just can't do that. You can't do that.
Yeah,
right?
Now
it doesn't work.
So was the brown stripe and the black stripe there, or that's what they added in?
They added that. And that's they're saying that's supposed to be pansexual and what's the other one?
Asexual. Or
no
bullshit. That's what it is.
Some bullshit. It's no shade. It's some bullshit. Pansexual and
then you just add two letters.
Sapiosexual.
Then they just add two letters to the title of your
Yeah.
What was it?
How do you feel about that?
I don't like it. I'm telling you, I don't like it.
Why not? I'm just gonna keep saying why not.
Because then it just goes back. So you remember back in the day how we'd be like, oh, he's asexual. We'll be like, oh, that's the it man. And it's not even to be like you're an it, but it's just basically to say that we've always known that there's people that just like what they like emotionally and physically, right? And sexual.
Right.
Sapiosexual is on an intellectual level. Bitch.
So what? Sapiosexual is like when you like somebody for their mind, basically.
Sapiosexual, yeah.
All right.
But for their mind, for the intelligence.
They added that to y'all community.
Yes. And there was no need for it, because that's basically bisexual.
Bro, I'm telling you,
they're doing
that's basically bisexual.
As black people to y'all community, and y'all can't sit back and let the government do this to y'all, bro. Y'all stood up and y'all fought for y'all right to have same-sex marriage, that not be discriminated. You guys got to stop this agenda that they're pushing, because they're gonna lump all of us in one hole. That's what they're doing. They're gonna lump all of us in one hole, and we have to stop that. And that's why I had you on the show, because I kind of figured you were gonna take that approach. I kind of figured you would take that approach, because I went to school with you, and I know you, and we know each other, and I kind of figured you was gonna take that approach, and that's why I wanted you on the show, because people need to realize that only way we're gonna really get change in this world. I'm sorry, I'm pointing my pen at you guys.
You're fine.
I take that pen. But the only way we're gonna get shit done here, bro, if we stick together and get it done together. It doesn't matter about people's sexual preference or what people are into sexually or whatever you want to call it, whether he's gay, black, blue, orange. I'm blue dabadita. It doesn't matter. It literally does not matter.
It goes back to stereotypes. It really just goes back to the gist of it. Stereotypes. And
that's why I hate
and
labeling
peer
today.
pressure.
That's why I hate labeling today.
So
I hate when people label people. Oh, you're a leftist. You're
don't label people. People are people. You like what you like. It shouldn't be a name for it.
Exactly. So now I have a question. My other question I have now would be: do you feel like you were judged on your gayness amongst your gays? Like, do you feel like you were judged?
It goes back to stereotypes because now
that's why I said that question. That's why I was like, how do you feel about that?
And it's weird. Go into what Justin was going to say, because I know Justin going to say it. I'm just going to say it anyway. They do this so we could just fight amongst each other.
Yep.
That's the only reason why they do it, right? So they're like, so look at this.
Make y'all be crabs in a barrel.
They want us to they just want us to kill us off. Yeah. So then we have nothing else to complain about. No, we shouldn't. We should complain, but we should fight together.
Yeah, we gotta
at the end of the day, we should not be judging each other.
No.
It doesn't matter if you're black, white, skinny, intelligent, not intelligent, gay, straight, bisexual, pansexual, sapiosexual. You are who you are. You just have to trust
surround yourself
in who you are as a person.
Right. Love yourself.
Trust in who you are as a person, regardless of where you came from, regardless on how you were brought up. And it's so funny. I was having this conversation with my best friend. They were saying that what happens if you grew up in a situation where you were being raped every day and you were never able to leave your house? How can you see the light at the end? How can you see the light?
By stabbing a nigga.
It's no motherfucking shade. If your heart says fight, bitch, fight until the bitter end, until you are dead, you fight. You can't dim your light for nobody. You just can't. And sometimes it's hard. It's scary. It's no shade. And those people that lost that faith. Great episode of Avatar when Katara went on the fucking shit to go help this boy out and that whole family. And sometimes you get that. You don't see it, but you get it. And it's those little moments that you really have to pay attention to. No matter how scared you are, you have to continue to fight. It's no shade. If you don't want to be labeled as gay, if you don't want to be labeled as sapiosexual, if you want to be labeled as a black man or a light-skinned man or anything, you just have to keep fighting. You can't lose your fight. And don't get me wrong, it does get embedded into our brains at a young age and it sticks to us, but you just cannot stop fighting. You just have to keep listening and keep your eyes open. It's no shade.
You gotta believe
it's no shade because eventually you are gonna see it and you are gonna question all your judgments.
Do you feel that there are any burdens that you carry? Like in general, like just of how you hold yourself, like how you even said before, like how you got your job, you had to come out and put a whole nother image and then show your true self. Like are there like burdens that you carry with yourself every day?
Yes. No.
It could be.
Do you mean burdens or regrets?
It could be either one. It could be either one, honestly, because sometimes
I'm
burdens form off of
I'm ratchet,
but burden is something you deal with. Regret is something that you
but sometimes you could carry that regret as a burden. Sometimes those things could be. Sometimes you could regret what you do, but that could be a burden that you care to remember not to act that certain way again. Yeah, those could be lesson learned. That's why I say that. It could be both. That's why I'm saying, do you have any things like that? Whether it be burdens, regrets, just lesson learned, like do those things
honestly
help?
Yes and no. Yes and no. And my thing is, I'm not a sorry person. I'm not. Right. I'm a very I apologize. I'm a very much an apologetic person, meaning I'm not sorry for what I did. Because it may happen again. It's no shade. Because when you say I'm sorry, that means you're not going to do it again. I apologize. Right? I'll revamp how I did it, but I am going to do it again. Right? Because it's no shade. I'm not apologetic.
That's most humans right there. That's most humans.
right? Because we fuck up all the time, and it's like, I'm sorry. No,
as
I'm
humans,
not
though,
sorry.
not even
I
like
apologize.
in a sexual preference. As humans, we fuck up all the time. So I think people should
We
be more
do,
understanding.
and we all have burdens, right? And for me, working with this job, I've always told people not to dim your own light, to continue being who you are and true to yourself, but still act accordingly.
And you just said everything Camp Rock said.
That's gonna be the. Usually we have a quote for at the end of our episodes, but that's gonna be our quote right there.
It's no shade. Be true. Don't dim your light. Be who you are. But just act accordingly.
It's true though, for real.
That's it. 100%. So if you know you in a ratchet setting, no, better yet, you don't bring a knife to a gunfight.
Oh, mama.
That's true.
You don't.
Unless you got a knife.
Unless you're Jet Li. It's no shade. It's no shade. That's the only way.
I'll take Jackie. I'll take Jackie over Jet. I take Jackie over Jet.
You take really?
Jackie Chan? I take Jackie Chan over Jet.
I respect Jackie Chan just because he's a man that
does his own stunts, bro.
He does his own stunts.
He does his own.
You know how many
Jet Li does have a lot of people doing
on top of that, he really got his own hand. Like he really got the hands.
I give Jet Li respect because he was the first one to have a movie with two of himself.
Right, the
two of himself, like, and it was a badass movie too.
Like, yeah, that was one. And then the crazy thing is, that was one of like Jason Statham's beginner movies too. And then the crazy thing, they end up doing the Expendables together.
Really?
Yeah, Jet Li's the one. Jason Statham was one of the time cops that was hunting his ass down.
Yeah,
see, I'm gonna watch
that. Was one. Yeah, Jason Statham was a man in that. And the crazy thing is, and the crazy thing is too, they didn't even know Jason Statham had the hands in that movie. He didn't. He barely did any type of fight, and he looked sorry in that movie when he fought. That's serious. Now Jason Statham, everybody know him from Transporter. When he kicked that door down, like
yes, yes. That's what I know him from Transporter. Okay.
That's the one that did Crank.
Yes, Jason Statham, same dude that did Crank. For real.
When he humped that old lady. Wait, he humped that old lady.
Yo, for real. He came through, hit her with the wheelbarrow. Was like,
But so E, back on topic. If you could describe what discrimination means to you, what would it mean?
Injustice.
In what way?
It's no shade. Injustice, because when you think about it, when you're being discriminated against, you're getting told that you can't do something, you can't be something, right? And this is for the youth, right? They don't know what they are yet, or they may know and they're just questioning it, right? So now the injustice is that now they can't even figure it out because now they're just pushing it to the side because majority of them have ADHD. So now they're not even focusing on it. So you're not even giving them the chance to be who they are supposed to be, or may want to be, or that may just want to try to be who they want to be, or figure themselves out. So it's very unjust. Okay. That's how I feel about discrimination. It's whack. It's trash.
All right. So to follow that question up is a perfect question. So Eve, to follow up with the last question, why is it important that our communities and laws treat people equally?
To stop the riots and stop people running through the White House like mad people. It's no shade. Think about it, right? If the law was right, if the law was fair, we can get on the buses and trains safely. We can go shopping safely without no fussing, no fighting. We can go to school without no problems, learn the proper education we need, get the money we need to feed our kids, to feed ourselves, to nurture the future. If there is homeless people, we'll be giving back to the homeless because there will be less stress, right? Right? And to And there will just be less mental illnesses too, because with diagnosing the youth, the adults, the people, there won't be that many medications. There won't be no medications out here. No one would have ADHD. Nobody will be HIV positive. Nobody. There won't be so many struggles. But we're in America.
Mm-hmm.
We're in America. It's profiting on itself and on the struggles of Americans. And Italians, Mexicans, Spanish, Dominicans. It is, right? America is very a problematic country.
Yeah, I can agree to
it. It is. It is. And to
love it, but I can agree to.
So it would be hard for it to be fair. But if it was fair, all those things that I just said, like it would make a huge impact, right? So then when we do have an unfair person that's about to come up and step up for president, or have a person that's about to shoot the area down, we come up as a group and knock them down.
Yeah, because
we know that's
evil.
not just.
Good will always be evil. Just ask Hitler.
Good will always prevail.
Just ask Hitler.
But it sucks because it just takes time, and nobody has time for the bullshit because we're going through the problems now.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's an important factor, that nobody really wants to dedicate the time that's needed to get it right. On both sides, Black people, gay people, anybody that comes from your community, nobody wants to take the time and get it right. Everybody they want to give you little things, little rewards,
little tools,
take this, and now you're fine. Now you're fine. You're gonna leave us alone, and that's not the way.
No, that's not the way. Because look, the biggest profiting department is the insurance companies. I got a car 3 months ago, and I was like, why am I paying insurance? And it's not even it's to keep me safe. It's to keep the other person safe.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is some bullshit. What's the point of fucking car insurance, right? And all of these policies that we're paying for
you to be paying
or
for
health insurance.
Coming from a guy that flipped a car, that's why they got. Why you got
flipped it?
Are you shitting me?
You don't gotta worry about. So you don't got. I did flip the car.
I'd be like, fuck the person being straight or being gay. Now all my money is going to him.
I mean, that's America. America is the biggest business in the world, bro. America is about its money. So when you hear all these Instagram models,
that's why the Russians, the Italians, the Taliban is over here calling us, negotiating money deals and shit because they know they're gonna find money somewhere.
Yeah, I mean,
and they're gonna steal it from the people.
With the Taliban, though, we're gonna say that we got a guest coming on later on this month that we're gonna be able to get into the Taliban stuff. I mean, firsthand action over in Afghanistan.
I want to hear it. Oh, by the way, so I have a few people in my group that wants to tune into this channel.
Yeah,
and to tune into this podcast.
Definitely. I'll send you the link, and everything. When I get after this finished downloading, because it's gonna take a while to download. I'll send you the link and everything when I put the episode up, so you can just share it around to your boys and stuff.
Perfect.
And your girls. But I don't really have any more questions. Tbrown, you got any more questions for E?
No, I don't got anything.
The last thing, E, I would want for you is just to, if you had anything left that you wanted the people that's listening and watching to know about, being Black and gay and the struggle that you face and things that you guys go through, or things that you wanted people to know that they could consider and everything. Like, man, this your time, man. Let them know, bro.
I have a question for you guys.
What's up?
Oh,
and it's crazy because I've been wanting to get this question out for the longest, right? How do you guys feel about transgendered men and women when it comes to them rejecting a hi or a text message or a DM saying, oh, so we should hang out, we should continue going to the gym together, and they introduce themselves as a trans man or trans woman, and their response is, oh, we can hang out on our own time, but I just want to let you know that I'm a transgendered woman. I hope this would end, or transgendered man, and this doesn't bother you in any way, right? And the question for you guys is, do you guys think it would be a fetish, or would it be an attraction? Because one of my members has recently went through the situation where they worked out with this person, and now this person is DMing them about, oh, you're a great guy, like you're dope as fuck, we should hang out sometime and all this other stuff. And everyone in the group chat is like, oh, you should ask him for some money. Oh, you should ask him out on a date. Or like, why is he attracted to you? Like, what are all these
turns
things?
into a fetish in my eyes. It's like coming off on that angle. That's when that comes off as a fetish, because then it's like you got somebody that, like, from how I look at it, that person could maybe even be looking at it as a fetish too, possibly. But then at the same time, it could be someone in my case, where they're uneducated and don't know, and it could be you as wanting to know, getting to know that person to know. So for like other outside experiences,
but why
because
wouldn't
there are
it be
more
an
people
attraction?
coming out. I mean, because sometimes some people it could
but
be.
You see what I'm saying? Like, there's that controversy.
I think it could be both, depending on the situation of the person. I think some people can have the fetish, and I think others could just be attracted. Because that happens with regular people, even the straight people.
Or just the ignorant.
It does.
That's how you get
don't
stalkers.
know.
Yeah, that's how you get stalkers, because they have fetishes. They have a fetish with you, and you have people that.
So would you say it's just about the approach?
Basically,
I always say when it comes to safety, for trans women and trans men, it's always about the approach. And Tbrown could talk to this about it once, because he had a similar situation.
I've had experience with that too, and that's why I say,
and right off the bat,
like, they might want to hang out with them right off because they might be ignorant and not know.
Right, but right off the back, the trans woman let Tyrone know that
she told me off rip first night we met.
Yeah, right off rip. So I think if you can have that type of respect for the person you're next to, and they're okay with it,
and we hung out a couple of times too.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't have no problem with that. I mean, I think it's the same. Literally, for me, it's the same as hanging out with a gay person. Like, it's no difference for me. If I met a transgender person, they was cool as hell. Nah, we can chill. I'm gonna treat you just as human as I am. I'm not gonna look at. But I understand why you're asking that question, because a lot of people don't. A lot of people don't see you guys as human or see you guys as equals, and that's a problem, and that's what we need to find a solution for. And that's why I said sometimes
it becomes like a prostitution thing, which then gets associated with the gay community.
It will come off as a fetish, because you got this person, you got whoever was saying that, talking about, ask them for money, take them out on a date. Then it's like you're using their time to get something out of it, therefore it turns into a fetish. And at that point, it's escalating to other things for you to just get a nut off. Nut being figuratively being like literally actually a nut, or just getting off on the adrenaline rush of just getting whatever you're getting out of this person, Like, that's why it's just like, it could be just depending on how that person is approaching, because either they could be ignorant to that world and just like they like how it is so far, so they're like, okay, I like where this is going, maybe I can hang out with this person and it doesn't feel awkward. Because maybe that person could have been just somebody scared and not knowing how like a trans male or trans female is like, and then they find out they got a dope ass workout partner. It's like, all right, bet maybe I could go to the bar and get some drinks with this person. Like it could just escalate into something different.
I would say this too, because I always say this, and I think one of the biggest ways you guys will be more safe, transgender, trans women, including gays, lesbians, and queers, and the rest of the community, is if big name politicians and big name rappers and all these other people that's gay just come out and say they're gay.
Right.
Just come out and say
that's why I always
get over it.
But then they get discriminated. But think about it, because then it could then be stressful for them, for instance, basketball players, football players, and then it messes up the game.
That's true, but if you, I'm not football and basketball, I agree, because that's different. We could talk about Michael Sam, and we could talk about the new guy in the NFL that just came out and said he was gay.
Right.
Michael Sam, being a black gay man, wasn't treated as this white gay man was. So it can be some discriminations. You understand what I'm saying? But I think
it messes up the funk. I'm saying feng shui, but it messes up the energy of the team, because now it's like, why are you in the locker room with us? Or what are you doing here? Like, how are you looking at us? Like, how
if people had a better understanding, they wouldn't think that way. It would be fine for him to be in a locker room. It would be fine for them to be a football player. And that's what I'm saying. If more of you guys come out together as a whole, instead of one here. If you keep guys doing it solo, one-on-one, everybody coming out one here, it ain't never going to work. Y'all always going to be starting. But if you guys literally just get into a group chat, because you guys know each other in this industry. You know who gay, bro. You know who. You know what we used to call back in the day in the closet.
But then it sucks, because then look, it then comes to a networking thing. Oh, I don't want these people to know that I know this person, because then they're gonna poach them with me.
And that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you guys know each other. You need to get into a group chat, or you rappers, politicians that's gay and still hiding, get into a group chat, come up with a date. And just like, yo, we're all gonna come out this date, and that's it. You don't have to talk about nothing else. You don't have to associate with each other. You don't have to get to know each other. All you got to do is come out together, and then people are gonna look at it like every movement that gets moved, something gets moved with it.
But it's getting them to come together is the problem.
Yeah, and I agree. I totally agree with you. It is because nobody.
That's the problem, because then it's gonna create other issues.
Nobody wants to stand together. I totally agree.
No one wants to speak, and it's not that they don't want to speak. They don't want to put their difference aside to come together for one purpose.
Yeah,
y'all be stubborn for real.
That shit is wild.
Everybody be stubborn though, for real.
OD.
Well, E, you got anything else to add, man?
That's it.
Well, E, we want to thank you. We want to thank you for stopping by. We want to thank you for giving us the time to come by and talk to us. You share some knowledge with us that, you know, I know people at home going to take, and you get to understand it from a black man's point of view that is also in the LGBT community, the struggles on both ends of it, some of his outlooks and some of the things that I want to see. So we just want to thank you, man. Appreciate you stopping by. Appreciate you coming
real quick, you got
any
shout out to anything you want to say to anybody real quick? Like, you know, show some love to people. Go ahead, man.
Come on, shout out to the House of Playboy. Shout out to my sister Shaquita Boyd. And it's so funny. Shout out to my aunt Kim. I was on the phone with her before this, and I was like, "Oh fuck, Justice calling. It's about that time. Gotta throw on a shirt, throw on a hat. Let's go." So yeah, and shout out to the Boys and Girls Club for all the help. It's a shade. Madison School Boys and Girls Club, Yolanda Robinson, Shanira Malloy. We got bitches, y'all amazing.
Another thing, do you want to, if people wanted to get into the program that you teach dancing, and how can they do that?
Oh yeah, y'all could definitely reach out to me. So I'm here in Queens, but the program's out in the Bronx, New York. If you want to contact me, I'm gonna give
I have all the contact information.
And he can send it all to y'all. When I tell you class is lit, you get to learn about voguing, you get to learn about modeling, you get to learn about self-esteem, as well as having fun. I'm legit. I might be 30, but I'm young as fuck. You will have fun. It's all about coming together, and it's a family thing. There's no judgment at all. It's all about love.
And that's what we like to hear. We want to keep spreading the message of love, bro. We need to come together, and we need to stand up for each other and next to each other. That's the only way we could get these things solved in life, man. It's a lot of things in this world that, and especially in America, that we as Americans, we as the civilians can step up, stand up, and do something about. We don't need government to do it. We can do it. So but we got to do it as a whole. We got to do it as a whole. We got to do it as a whole. But E, I want to thank you, man.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you for giving us your time, for real.
Anytime. This was great. This is
definitely it was a great conversation.
It's been a minute since I've seen
you too. And we definitely have to link up soon.
Yeah, we got to plan some. We definitely got to plan some. But thank you, E. I'm gonna call you right after we're done, bro.
Definitely.
All right, thank you.
Thanks
bro.
for having me.
Anytime. All right, guys. We want to thank you guys.
All right.
I do have a quote of the day for you guys, because we got a quote. This quote is by Maria Ann Williamson. All right. And it says, you may believe that you are responsible for what you do, but not for what you think. The truth is, you are responsible for what you think, because it's only at this level that you can exercise choice. What you do comes from what you think. So you guys need to remember that. What you do comes from what you think. All right. What you think turns into your actions. So you need to fix your thoughts so you have better actions. This is your boy Troy.
It's your boy Tbrown.
and this is the What's Up Brother Podcast.
What's up, brother?
We see you guys in the next one. Peace.